guys. So we got our new Savage Mark II up here in the pridefend rifle rest here. This turned out to be a real good rest to do work like this on. So I got our good friends at Bypass Pond. I picked up these Weaver top mount base. These are the number 16s or 48106 gloss. And that's what all they fit. So we're going to mount these. It takes the same one front and back, so we're going to be mounting our bases on here before we go any further. And we're going to get those installed. If I can get the bag open. And in that bag you get your base and 2 screws. Now these are regular head screws, so we will be putting a little bit of Loctite on these. Always like to put some Loctite. I'm gonna rotate this gun toward me so I can kind of see what I'm doing, and you'll be able to see too. But we'll put it on just like that. Let me get us a little Loctite here. And put on our screw. Just takes a drop, and we will be torquing these too. I'll put a drop of Loctite. And I'm going to try to get that through there without getting a lot of our Loctite on the base, but you probably get a little bit. And I'm going to set that on there and line it up, and we're going to give it a little bit of a tightening. Make sure you go slow and don't cross your threads. And we're just going to get it started. My hand's in the way. So I'm just getting it just snug down, just barely. So we'll take our second screw, put a drop. And like I said, we'll be putting a little bit of torque on these with the torque screwdriver here in a minute. I don't know what the recommended torque on these are. Maybe it says on the package. But I'm just going to get them on there and get them just finger tight for right now. Let's see if it says anything about torque. It says thread adhesive is not needed for a 22. Make sure doesn't give a thing on these, but I'll probably go to about let's go to about, probably when we do it, we'll go to about 18 foot-pounds. That doesn't seem excessive. Doesn't really say there. I don't want to over tighten it. We do have the blue Loctite on it, so that'll help hold it. And so we'll just do it that way. Let me put a little Loctite on this 4th screw. This is real easy to do. This is basically 4 screws and a one-to-one piece base, but there's not a lot of companies that make a one-piece base, and they are fairly expensive. These this little set right here cost me $10, so you buy them individually, so they were $5 each is what they charged me for them. So, and like I said, the package says a 22 doesn't need thread locker, but we're going to put a little bit on there since this is going to be our test rifle for upcoming scopes. This is going to have a series of different scopes put on it and tested, and so we want to make sure that you know, let's make sure that's starting straight. There we go. Let's make sure our bolt works. Make sure those screws didn't protrude through. I'm gonna look down the... All right, so now we can proceed with torquing those. Let me pause it. Okay, got our torque wrench, got us set on 18 foot-pounds. I got us a good fitting bit there that will fit nice and snug in our screws, and we're just gonna get them down to 18 foot-pounds. I'm gonna go back and forth between them. I want to kind of take them evenly. And I don't want to over tighten this. I don't think 18 foot-pounds would be overly tight for bases. Like I said, the package has no torque settings. No, that may be too tight. That seems awfully tight. Let's go down to, let's go about 15 foot-pounds. Inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. I always say foot-pounds. This one's probably already there because that one was getting pretty tight. No, wasn't hardly. So there's 15 inch-pounds. They seem pretty tight for those little screws. I may be overdoing it, but most scope bases get, 25 to 30 pounds. If I could get the screw in the slot. There we go. So there we are at 15 inch-pounds on our front and back. So let me pause you. I got some, these are low, and I'm gonna get them took apart. These were given to us by John Burnett, our good buddy, and these may be too short for the 50mm scope, so we may have to make some adjustments. May have to see if I can find some taller mounts. All right, I've got our spaces just sitting on there. We're going to tighten them down before we do any scope mounting, but I just want to see if this is going to clear. And depending on how far forward I have to go, possibly we'll have to go with a slightly taller mount. Let's put one on here and just snug it down and see what the eye relief looks like. Then I'll be able to tell. I may just actually take the rear sight off this rifle. I'm just going to snug this down so I can see if I can get enough eye relief without removing the back sight. Without the back sight on there, this would be just about perfect height for this. I'm not doing anything right now but just trying to set my eye relief. Okay, actually where I set it right there is just about perfect. So let's get a rifle leveled up first. I just want to make sure, confirm that I had enough, that I wasn't going to hit my back sight with the scope, and I have plenty of room. So if I had to pull it back any further, I would have had to have, done something with the sight there. But as it is, I got clearance. So we're gonna take that off, remove our scope for a minute, set it aside. All right, I'm gonna remove our back scope base here. I'm gonna get our pridefend scope leveling kit, and we're going to put our barrel clamp on first. Loosen these up a little bit for enough to get it around the 22 barrel. All right, we're going to put our bubble level across our base here and get it level. So we want to level our rifle, get it level, or our rings, and then we want to level our barrel clamp here to match that. Let's get us pretty close with the clamp. And then we'll use the fine-tune adjustment to bring us on to where we need to be. Let me pause you and look at this. Okay, we have a rear bubble level, and our front bubble is level as well. I don't know if I can get you a shot of that or not. Let's see if I can turn this a little bit. But there's our front level. So you can see our bubbles are pretty level right there. So you want to match the back bubble to the front bubble. Now we can take this one off, and as long as this one stays level, we should be good. Now we are going to take our ring and put that on. And we're going to torque these down before we go any further. So let me set up our torque wrench and we'll do that. Alright, I got our rings on here, and we're going to go, I'm going to go 20 foot-pounds on these. Or inch pounds. When y'all listen to me, everything is in inch pounds. Only thing you would do foot-pounds is maybe putting on a barrel or a something of that nature. But everything else in gunsmithing is pretty well in inch pounds. If you were screwing on a AR-15 barrel or putting a barrel in a Savage high-powered rifle or something, you might use foot-pounds, but for most of this stuff, it's all inch pounds. So now we have our rings on. Let's get our rifle level again, according to the front. Alright, we should be able to go across our rings here, and they be level. And they are aluminum, so the magnet ain't... Actually, I think they are steel. Just the magnet is... No, they're aluminum. So there is our level there. So let's set our scope on and we'll go from there. Okay, we've got our eye relief about where we want it. I got this little plastic bag between the back sight and the scope, and I want to make sure that it doesn't touch, so I've used this kind of as a spacer to make sure it doesn't move. And we're going to install our back ring here, and we're just going to get these snug down because we have to level our scope here in just a second. So I want to get these started, and we want to try to keep our gaps the same on both sides. I have found just by reaching across and filling the gaps, you can pretty well tell, you know, if one's closer than the other as they squeeze down. We're not going to get these tight yet. We got to level our scope, but we want to get them just to where there's a little bit of resistance when we turn the scope. So we're going to put our level across our scope. Guys, I'm shaking today. Alright, so our level on our barrel up here is still right where it needs to be. And according to that, this needs to come that way. So we want to get that as level as possible. Alright, let's check that. Let's look down it. And our rifle is off a little. So let's tip our rifle back. Get it level again. And then do the scope. So the rifle's still level. And there we go, right there. That's right where we need to be. So let's see if we can get her tightened back down without pulling from one side to the other. That's probably what I didn't do right. I didn't cross. Didn't crisscross applesauce. Alright, that's got a little tighten on us. Let me get our torque wrench. We'll get this torque down and then we'll finish this video up. Alright guys, I'm going to put these to 14 inch pounds. And we're going to go back and across just slowly. That one's already at 14. That one's at 14 inch pounds. And guys, that's got us put on there and level. So this is part 2. First part was unboxing. Second part, scope mounting. We're going to be building this rifle up. Got another part coming, and then we'll be shooting this rifle, testing this scope. So anyway guys, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. I know this is going to be a long video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And until the next one, we'll see you later.